Hi, I'm Dean Langasco from the Web Bureau, and in this video we're going to look at how to use LinkedIn to identify specific individuals and companies who could be useful for you and your business right now. And then we're going to add these to an initial prospect list so you can get started. Before we get stuck into LinkedIn, we're going to create a simple list to capture your prospects' names and company names. You can either use Excel or something like Google Docs if that's what you're more comfortable with. To decide which type of organizations to start looking at, you need to have a think about what you're trying to achieve with your business right now. For me, I want to get people to come along to our Belfast events that we've scheduled over the next 3 months. We've got a wide range of speakers and topics, and we want to get the word out and we want people to come along. I also want to raise awareness of myself and the Web Bureau and sell our in-house training workshops as well. So taking a look at my spreadsheet, I have two columns here, one for type of organization and one to record a reason why I think that organization would be useful to our business right now. So what I've done in this part of the spreadsheet is note a number of types of organizations that could be useful for us right now and put a reason beside each one to remind me why I thought that would be useful. So looking at the first one, business membership organizations, it makes sense that those types of organizations like a Chamber of Commerce or an Institute of Directors are going to have access to a business audience that will be ideal for our events. Moving on down the list, I've also included hospitality businesses like hotels, cafes, clubs and bars, because one of our events coming up is a Facebook masterclass for the hospitality industry. So it makes sense to connect with influencers in that industry. I've also included other event organizers because they'll be having the same challenges as me, trying to get their events out there, trying to let people know about them, trying to get people to come along. So if I can help them and build a relationship with them, well, they're going to want to try and help me as well. And then the final one I have in there are e-commerce businesses, because again, we have a series of e-commerce workshops coming up over the next 3 months as well. So it would make sense to connect with influencers there. So considering, I'm going to use the first example of business membership organizations to show you how to use LinkedIn to track down people that you might want to connect with and start to build a relationship with. So the first thing that I think of when I think of a business membership organization is a Chamber of Commerce, or as I said, Institute of Directors. So that's where we'll begin our search on LinkedIn. So right now we're going to get stuck into step 2, which is to go to LinkedIn. So go to linkedin.com, and this is the page that will come up, which is your home page, where you'll see some of your stats about who's looked at your profile and your latest updates. And you'll see your wall. That's where you would share an update or create a post, upload photos. But for now, we're just going to focus on the search function up at the top of the page. And that's where we're going to look for our prospects. So to start off with, going back to the spreadsheet, I talked about looking at business membership organizations in my local area. And the first one that comes to mind is a Chamber of Commerce. So the simple way to start is to use that keyword, Chamber of Commerce. And what I like to do is, before I just hit search, I will go to the little drop down box here and narrow this down to companies, because then that's going to get me the organizations with those keywords in their profile. So I'll click companies and then I'll have to hit the search bar. But what's going to come up is a whole lot of companies from all over the world with Chamber of Commerce in their title, like Chamber of Commerce Southern New Jersey, which isn't really relevant to us right now. So what I'll do, over on the left hand side, you've got some filter parameters here, and I can hit add, and in there I'm going to put Belfast, which is the city I'm in. But for now I've gone with Belfast. I've ticked Belfast and it has come back with 4 results with Chamber of Commerce in their profile description. And the first one that came up was Causeway Chamber of Commerce. I've got African and Caribbean Chamber of Commerce. And the one that sort of jumps out at me is Belfast City Centre Management. Well, I know a little bit about Belfast City Centre Management. I know that they are connected to the businesses and retail stores in our city centre, and they are ideal for the events that we've got coming up. So when you go to that page, you'll see a little bit of information about them. They don't really have much on there, but what you will find are the people that are connected to that organization over on the right hand side. You can see a few of them here, but if you click see all, it'll expand out and show you anyone that has put Belfast City Centre Management in their profile in some form or fashion. Some people will have worked there before, some will work there currently or be on the board. And what I can see right away, the first result that's come back is Andrew Irvin, who's a non-executive director at Cathedral Quarter Trust, but he's also City Centre Manager at Belfast City Centre Management Company right now. So that would be, in my mind, a good place to start. I think first thing we would do is have a little look at Andrew's profile by clicking his name. Something you can tell right away if you go into someone's profile is if they are active in any shape or form, and the more active they are, the more likely they're going to want to engage with you, because they're engaging on LinkedIn themselves, and that's why they're there. So looking at his profile, I can see some recommendations for his current role, which seems pretty active to me. And then he's listed his directorships. He's got some recommendations in there for that as well. And if you look on down, you can see that he's got lots of endorsements from various people, which means he's probably given a lot of endorsements, and he's pretty active on here on LinkedIn. So he obviously sees this as a useful tool for what he does. So that's a good starting point. I'd be keen already to add Andrew to my list to start talking to see if I can help him and he can help me. You can also scroll on down to the bottom and you can see some of the groups that he's part of to give you an indication of what Andrew's interested in. A lot of it's to do with his business. I'd say that's something to do with town planning, or there's urbanism. So he's interested in what he does. He's passionate about his role. So the next thing I'm going to do, the next step, is to take Andrew's details and carry them across to our spreadsheet. So if you click on contact info, you'll see anything that Andrew wanted to share with us in terms of how to get in touch with him. So I'm just going to select and copy his LinkedIn address. I've already done this, but I'm just showing you. And I'll put that into our spreadsheet here under link. I've also recorded his company name, his name, and a reason why I want to build a relationship with him. So I was looking at this earlier, and the reason is that Andrew is the city centre manager for BCCM and could potentially help me reach out to his member businesses. We could be useful for him in terms of content to help his members. And I've also just put in here some initial ideas for how I could actually engage with Andrew, or how I could help him. So what we have here are things like joining the same groups as he's in, sharing useful content that could help him. I could send that to him directly. We could send a survey to him that he can even pass out to his members to find out what they're struggling with in terms of digital marketing. We could offer a free consultation for his members. We could do a review of his existing digital presence for BCCM's website. So there's all sorts of things that you could just think of right off the bat to think about how you could actually help that person if you were to try and build a relationship with them. But we'll look at that again in a future video. For now, all we want to really do at this stage is fill out our prospect list so that we've got something to begin with. Of course, you can go back to BCCM again, or to Andrew's profile here, and just hit back, so we can see that list again of people that were connected to that organization. And you've also got Nicola Evans here, whose title is Business Support Manager. She may also be someone that we could put on the list. But I think what I'm going to do, or what I think is a wise idea, is to put in who you think is the most relevant person for each of the organizations you want to contact. And even if it's not them that you're going to end up connecting with and helping and building a relationship with, they may be able to point you in the right direction of someone who is more relevant. So it's up to you. You can add a number of people from the same organization, or if you notice that there's one person in there who's definitely the person you want to build that relationship with, then that's who you should put in. So that's a very simple look at how to identify some individuals. I think it's important to do the step where you're thinking about the types of organizations that could be useful for you. So coming at it from a few different angles. Like what we have in here are obvious things like business membership organizations are going to have businesses attached to them, but also thinking about the people who are also trying to do what you're doing, who are maybe not competing for the same business. How could you help them, because they probably have the type of audience that you want. Also looking at specific niches and industries, and then it's really just using the keywords, or using Google to find companies or organizations in that sector. So for example, if I didn't know about Chamber of Commerce or Belfast City Centre Management, I could have Googled business membership organisations, Northern Ireland or Belfast, and you'll find that there'll be a load will come back, and I can use those organisations as my keywords to do my search. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope you find it useful. If you did like the video, please give us a big thumbs up down below, and feel free to ask us a question that we'll come back and answer if we can, and if we can't, we'll point you in the right direction. Keep an eye out below for links for other videos that will help you with your LinkedIn activity, as well as links to my blog, where I share my progress on LinkedIn and how I'm getting on with the different things that I'm telling you to do as well. There's also a weekly LinkedIn challenge, and links for that are below as well.